Get out of the streets!
Hello, and welcome to Dodgers Debate. I'm Jack Harris, the LA Times Dodger beat writer, along with my history witnessing columnist, Dylan Hernandez tonight. We're on the field at Rogers Center, where the Dodgers just played for what I think like the third time this postseason we've said is one of the greatest games you'll ever see. I think this one's actually like legitimately, undisputably one of the greatest games you'll ever see. They win 5-4 and 11 innings to win their second consecutive World Series, their third in 6 years. They were 2 outs away from losing in the ninth inning before Miguel Rojas hit a home run. Will Smith hits a home run to give them the lead. Yoshinobu Yamamoto goes hero status to pitch the final, 2 2/3 to finish it off, and the Dodgers are champions. And a game that ended a couple hours ago, and I still can't even wrap my head around or believe.
Yeah, it's amazing how the city of Toronto just keeps producing one loser after another, right? I mean, Toronto is like San Diego North.
Oh my God.
Okay, no, I'm kidding. Okay, that was like kind of my troll bit. I did want to give one last parting shot to my friends up north because they're not coming back here anytime soon. Yeah, it just feels like my brain's kind of scrambled from just kind of everything that I saw. I'm tired. I'm even like emotionally exhausted from kind of the swings in this thing. I was kind of like joking with Yamamoto yesterday about him pitching today, and every time they kept sending him back out, I'm like, wait, eventually this is kind of bound to go wrong, right? Like,
apparently not.
Apparently not. The Andy Pages catch.
Yeah. Okay,
I mean, holy crap.
Let's go through this.
Yeah.
I can only do it chronologically. The game starts. Shohei Ohtani is on the mound. It is his moment, and it goes pretty poorly.
Yeah.
He seemed pretty clearly, whether it was exhaustion, whether it was fatigue, but on 3 days rest after throwing 93 pitches in Game 4, just didn't have it. The fastball command was bad. The secondary stuff wasn't good. He somehow gets through the first 2 innings unscathed until the third inning, leaves a slider over the plate to Bo Bichette. It's a 3-run homer. Well, it reminded me, I was like, Dave Roberts got asked before the game about the 2017 Game 7. And what did you learn from that? And he goes, well, we fell behind so quick in that game, like it's hard to even learn anything from it because once you fall behind like that, like in these kind of games, it's supposed to be over. And then especially when you layer on the way the Dodgers offense was struggling, leaving runners on base. They had the tying run on base in 3 straight innings after that, couldn't get it in. And it just felt like this team that for 2 years now has been on this kind of journey to cement a dynasty, baseball immortality, and it felt like they were getting to the end and they were just out of gas.
Right.
Ohtani was out of gas. The lineup was out of gas. They're going to have to burn through the rest of their rotation. I mean, I don't know. Did you feel like that game was over as we're getting into the 6th, 7th, 8th, and they're still behind?
Because you know what? Whatever it was, like I thought their pitch, you could kind of get to it, right? And
yeah,
I mean,
Scherzer was pitching well. Well, he's giving a lot of
but
hard
he was
contact,
he was getting lucky, man. They were hitting rockets off him, and so I kind of thought that they could maybe kind of, slowly creep their way back into the game, which they kind of did. I was actually thinking maybe one of those kind of innings where they had like multiple guys on base. I mean, they threatened him a lot, right? You were even keeping track of the number of times that
they came
10
up at-bats
right.
where they had the tying or winning run at the plate or go-ahead run at the plate in those 3 innings.
Yeah.
They had another one in the 7th. Once Savage comes in, Ohtani draws a walk, then there's a double play. But that was the problem. It's like, okay, they're not having issues getting guys on, but it just, again, to me, it just felt like, man, it's all these little problems, right? Just the offense not quite being good enough. Just and for a team that, for all the money that the Dodgers have spent and all the star players they brought in, there's a certain intangible quality that you can't buy and that has to be manufactured within the team, within the clubhouse, within the group. And that's what it felt like was getting tested tonight. And, they've had this belief all year, when it matters, we're going to be able to turn it on, we're going to be able to play well. And then that's what happens in the 9th inning. It's the most unlikely guy, Miguel Rojas, who got put in the lineup in Game 6, had barely played in the postseason before that, had not hit a home run against a right-handed pitcher all year, but he comes up to the plate. He works a really good at-bat. I think that's the key part about when he comes up there. He gets in a full count. He laid off one high slider. He said he fouled one fastball off that gave him the feel like, okay, I'm on Jeff Hoffman in the game at that time. I'm on his fastball. I can take an aggressive swing, and then he makes a mistake with a slider over the plate. He takes that fastball swing, so he catches it out in front and ties this game with just, again, like Ohtani's on deck.
Right.
We're talking about.
And that's the thing, right? You look at that part there, you're looking at that inning, and it's like, okay, this is going to end, right? Ohtani's either going to tie it or it's probably going to end with him, right? And I'm thinking back to, kind of these, endings that are kind of metaphorical for the season almost. I think back to 2018, Manny Machado strikes out, he gets down on one knee, right? It was, again, very kind of symbolic, I think, of that postseason, that series. And I was kind of expecting that here, right? If anything, like maybe they walk Ohtani, whatever, and that becomes kind of the symbolic thing where the guys behind him can't take advantage of that or whatever. And I was so kind of looking ahead to Ohtani that I kind of dismissed it, No, I did. Like, what, you thought he was going to hit a home run?
I didn't think he was going to hit a home run, no. It was still it was an important at-bat because we could get on base. That's what he said. I just want to go up there and get on base because then it gives Shohei a chance. Yeah. But, like, this is the thing again. Like, the fact that the Dodgers were able to someone like Miguel Rojas is able to keep that mindset with everything that had gone wrong tonight leading up to that point, and then put together that at-bat, and then still have enough talent to be able to execute that swing. It saves the game, and then it sets the stage for Yoshinobu Yamamoto to, like, really save the day.
Yeah. I mean, God, I don't even know what to say about that, right? I mean, it's funny because, yesterday I kind of half-jokingly asked him in the press conference after the game, if you had to go again tomorrow, can you go, And he kind of joked, saying something along the lines of, like, yeah, if they tell me to go, obviously I'll go. But, like, my preference would be to, like, just kind of, cheer as hard as I can. And, the funny thing is, one of the Japanese reporters kind of mentioned, he was talking to him in the clubhouse afterwards, and he was saying that when he was coming off the mound in the sixth inning there, he thought, oh, crap, I didn't go long enough. Dylan's going to ask me if I can pitch tomorrow.
I didn't go long enough. Well, but it was a question.
It was, and I think, though, that, he's kind of, the one thing about Yamamoto that I find very impressive, he's very good at reading the room, right? No one reads the room better than Yamamoto does, which is one of the reasons I think he's so, like, beloved on the team, even though he might not have kind of all the communication skills, that people have. So the way Yamamoto tells the story is that, he, after the game yesterday, he talked to his trainer, Osamu Yada, and he thanked him, for the year. It's kind of customary in Japan, right? Once you kind of finish something, you thank him. And, Miss Yada Sensei told him, like, hey, like, why don't, you try, like, throwing a little bit tomorrow to see how you feel, And,
Andrew Friedman mentioned he got a late night text that, like, oh, Yamamoto's getting treatment. And he's like, oh, fine, we're not going to need him. And then Yamamoto basically said, yeah, so, like, that's how I kind of got tricked into it. And then he goes like, the next thing I know, I'm in the bullpen. Then the next thing I know, I'm on the mound. Back on the mound and then back on the mound.
God, but what just kind of what a pitching performance, right? I mean, I'm not sure, obviously, Paul Skeens, right? Skubal are guys that you kind of think of as being like the top guys in baseball. I don't know if either guy can do what Yamamoto just did right now, right?
Because it's not just the pitches.
Right.
It's like his stuff was just as good as it's been all year.
Yeah.
Even I think he ended up throwing 130 total pitches. I was joking with you before the game, like, oh, sure he can do it. Randy Johnson did it in 2001. He threw more pitches than Randy Johnson did in Game 6 and 7 in 01.
Yeah, and again, every time, right, you think of these kind of like high pitch count, inning type guys, you're picturing guys who are like, 6'4", 6'5". I mean, this guy's like a couple inches taller than I am. He's probably shorter than you are, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
And so again, it's just, I'm kind of at a, what I had envisioned for him was one inning, close it out. Right. I didn't think he was going to go up, down, up, down.
Right, because he comes in, he inherits this jam from Blake Snell, which, by the way, like the rest of the Dodger pitching did very well to even keep the game close, from Wroblewski to Sheehan to Glasnow to Snell at that point. But he comes into like the middle of a huge jam. Now, Miguel Rojas helped save the day again by turning a play. And then he gets this fly ball that Andy Paez and Kike Hernandez tackle each other. But Andy Paez holds on. But like to to not only pitch that much, but to come into one high-pressure situation, then have to deal with another in the 11th with more guys on base, and you got Roki and Clayton Kershaw's warming up, and, they stick with him. And that shows a level of faith and trust in a guy that is really hard to, achieve, and only comes because of what they've seen him do the last couple of years, the way they've seen him grow, the fact that he went down to the bullpen in the 18-inning game the other night, and his stuff looked good enough in that bullpen session. And if he doesn't do that, the Dodgers probably don't win this game.
Right. And again, I'm not saying this to, take anything away from Ohtani, right? But the truth is, these things are really hard, right? I mean, we saw Ohtani again try to come here on short rest, and it didn't go well, right? And the fact that Yamamoto was able to pitch as much as he did, win 3 games in this series, again, just kind of
World Series MVP.
I mean, it's just, again, I don't even know what to say about that, right? It's one of these things that I think, especially as time goes on, and we kind of see, right, maybe other pitchers start to try to kind of replicate this thing, you're going to kind of see that, this is really, really hard. And this is a World Series, right? I mean, let's just say he just decides tomorrow, I want to retire. He will have a place in franchise folklore forever.
His arm's probably going to want to feel like he's going to want to retire tomorrow. All right, on the legacy point, I'm sure we'll dive into this more deeply on future shows. But the thing I was thinking about, especially in this kind of game, is, man, if the Dodgers don't win this game, and you start thinking about how taxing the last couple years have been, the toll it's taken on them, the difficulty that any series can throw at you, like this one, this Blue Jays team that I think played better than a lot of people, certainly we were expecting. It's really hard to get back to this point. Right. And for as much as this team has accomplished up until this year, there was that last missing piece of winning a 3rd title, repeating as champions, elevating yourself to a level that very few franchises or teams have ever reached. And to win this kind of game, to cement it that way, I mean, what we really saw were this era of the Dodgers put itself in a class that only Yankees teams in the 70s A's and the late 90s Yankees, and there's some Cardinals teams back in the 40s, I think. Literally, that's what we saw. And that's what winning this game, to me at least, I think does for them in the way that they're going to be remembered.
Right, because I do think, right, the fact that they're going to have, the number of future Hall of Famers on this roster.
Right. There might be 8 or 9.
Yeah, right. And now, now you look back and it's going to be oh, that's why they were able to win 3 titles, right? Maybe more, right? Now conversely, if they lose it, I think what ends up happening now is really what the payroll does, right? By getting so many guys of that level of talent, what it does do is it builds in a margin for error of sorts, right? And the fact that they were borderline negligent with their bullpen, right? And the fact that they could have just let it all slip away just because they couldn't trade some guy that you'll never hear of, some who's in AA right now, to get a reliever, right? I mean, that kind of would have really opened them up for a lot of criticism in many different ways. I was certainly plotting, how can I weave this into, well, at least we won't have to see them go to the White House next year, And so, from that standpoint, I think it's kind of taken something that could have been turned into a real negative into an extreme positive and a legacy affirming, season for a lot of these guys on this team.
Okay, trying to think of some other superlatives. Dave Roberts now has more World Series than Tommy Lasorda. I mean, he pushed a lot of correct buttons today.
He did.
You think about just Mookie Betts turns the double play that wins the game at shortstop, a guy who moved there. We talked about a lot this year. This game, and I do think that's kind of, watching this team every day for the last couple of years and the way it's kind of evolved. Again, like I said earlier, for all the money they've spent and all of the narrative about they're ruining baseball, it still does take you to be a team to win these kinds of things. And you saw all of the little pieces just when they needed to fall into place tonight.
Speaking of legends, right when you need them, we got a special guest right now.
Oh, boy. Oh, Bill Plaschke.
I was out of breath the whole game. I could barely. I don't know how you guys even watched. It's the most unbelievable game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
My column. I kiss more butt in my column Walter an icon. It's all true. It all feels true today.
And-
This city's going crazy.
What about in your losing column? What did you call Andrew Friedman there?
Oh, I trashed him so bad. Oh my God, I had 2 columns writing 3P.
Maybe.
No, it's incredible. I'm just telling you, the reaction back here at home is all anybody's talking about. I'm getting texts, a million texts. Again, there's fireworks still going off outside my house. There's people in the streets outside my house. Get out of the streets! Get out of the streets!
Plaschke,
The game's over.
is that the craziest game you've ever seen?
It's yeah, absolutely. When Andy Pius, any other World Series, Andy Pius climbing on top of
Kike.
Kike.
Kike, yeah, and grabbing that'd be the main story. That's only a sidebar now.
I don't even know.
It's not even.
gonna
It's
be a
not. I don't think
line.
it's even a sidebar. Yeah, Pius told me he just saw the ball. He said he saw Kike, and he's like, I just have to get it. If I run him over, I run him over.
Dude, it was a very well executed body check. Max Muncy compared it to
It was
a
unbelievable.
high pointing an interception and boxing out the receiver.
Great job. I can't wait to read you tomorrow. Because
Well.
I'm not reading it tonight because I'm too damn tired.
Well, I haven't written a word yet, so
That's the Europe. It's amazing. It's just watching the game is exhausting.
yeah.
We'll debate when you get back. See you guys.
All right.
All right,
Thanks,
there's
Plasch.
All right, there you go.
Here. Hold him up.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we'll get back together and at some point, probably in the next couple of days. The parade's on Monday. I'm sure we'll get together after that, kind of take a bigger picture look at what this all meant for tonight.
And
Crazy
forever.
game. Yeah, that was a line. Now and forever, I think I wrote in there. Yeah, now and forever, a Dodger dynasty
I know.
cemented
There.
with a World Series championship.